first off, I would really like to thank you guys for coming out, especially because of the weather outside. I mean, my suit is all messed up, and I'm just trying my best to be out here and look good for you guys. But we're gonna get the meeting started. We have a couple of gentlemen here. We have John, Ron, Jay, and Councilman Jermaine. We'd like each of you to come up, say a little about yourself, and then we're gonna go into the presentation.
My name is John Palumbo. I'm tall. I'm sorry, guys. My name is John Palumbo, VP of Real Estate Development at Manhattan Building Company. We've been working on this major development project.
It's all muffled. You have to like slow down.
Can you hear me now?
Yeah,
Can you guys hear me? My name is John Palumbo. I'm the VP of Real Estate Development at Manhattan Building Company. I'm not sure if you guys are familiar with the company. We've been developing in Hoboken, Jersey City for the past 30 years. Most recently, the Cast Iron Loft Collection. So it's Cast Iron Lofts 1, Cast Iron Lofts 2, the Soho Lofts, and also upcoming is the redevelopment of the Sacco project, which is a 4-phase, 1,100 unit project. And we're looking to get feedback from the community, and hopefully everybody can come together, everybody can agree on a project that could redevelop the big redevelopment area, just like the Soho West area is ready to redevelop now.
Hi, my name is Ron Russell. I'm the principal of urban architecture in Jersey City. Jeff Reeves here is our civil engineer. We're a Jersey City-based company. I grew up in Jersey City. I'm still here. I've always worked in Jersey City. I'm in full support of all the projects the great projects that are happening here, and I hope you are supportive of this project. And I can hand it over to Jeff.
Well, I'm Jeffrey Reeves. I'm a licensed professional engineer. Do the site engineering, roadway engineering, deal with flooding, water systems, sanitary systems, and support all of the development projects in urban architecture.
Hello, everybody. Can you guys hear me okay? I know the sound is a little muffled.
It's horrible. It's horrible.
Still terrible? What if I just yelled? Can I ditch this thing?
Just speak into the microphone.
Is that better?
Yes.
Okay. I'm doing my best. First of all, thank you all for coming out on a very rainy evening. My name is Michael Bambino. I work for Jay Delgora, the principal of Studio E. We have a pretty comprehensive presentation to share with you about the planned development at Bay Street. And I'll do my best to kind of make my way through it relatively quickly. So what you guys are looking at up on the screen right now is actually my apologies. I'd like to introduce the Compton Rock.
Good evening, everyone. Good evening. Thank you for coming out and braving the weather. Can you hear me?
We can hear you well. The first one we got. Thank you.
I practiced this.
Now you're speaking to a microphone.
Right. Again, my name is Jermaine Robinson, your Board of Councilperson. I just wanted to just welcome and thank you guys for coming out to spend some time with us. As you know, I've been hosting a few of these meetings around the city and trying to let each and every person know exactly what's going on right now, especially with the Big Street redevelopment. These are very preliminary meetings, which means there are no plans in the planning department, there are no plans in front of the zoning department right now, and I thought it was very important for us to come together so that we can see what's going on before this goes to the planning department, so we can make suggestions as a community. As you know, I represent Ward F and the entire Ward F and the people of Ward F, and I just wanted to make sure that we, as an entity, get exactly what we need from the community. As many of you may know already, the developer is going to be required to come back in front of you. So by no means is this just a one and done meeting that you'll be listening to tonight, you'll probably hear the same pitch from this developer and I think it's 7 more developers at the big street. You'll hear the same pitch a few more times before anything is set in stone and ready to go. So I want to thank Manhattan Building for being, for coming out and spending a lot of time with me recently, going to, Booker T and Lafayette and everywhere else to make sure that, the people hear what's going on today. As some of you may or may not know, today I had an article or op-ed in the Jersey Journal, and I spoke about the need for not having walls to separate Jersey City. And I'm going to just touch on that wall comment just for few seconds. As of right, and I know we see one of the developers right now, Mike Lee is already in the ground. He has his building there. As of right, each developer, those 7 developers, have the right to build 125 feet, if I'm not mistaken, is what Mike Lee has right now. And if they build as of right, we know that they don't have to invest in any of the infrastructure. And if it wasn't true, we would have already got the money from Mike Lee to invest his part into the infrastructure. So right now, that one building that's going up is not investing at all into the infrastructure. The reason that I'm here today in front of you is because as of right, they have 125 feet, which is about 14 stories. The 7 developers that's there right now have already reached out to my office to ask for more height and more density so that they will be able to help with affordable housing and also to invest in the infrastructure. You'll see in the slide later that this infrastructure will cost about $25 million. Of that, $15 million would come from the developers itself. I'm here just to really talk about not having a tale of 2 cities anymore. I mean, for a long time, I lived in the Greenville section. I was witness with the tale of 2 cities. And if you ride up and down Grand Street, you gotta see the sign when you're coming down Grand Street towards the Holland Tunnel. It says, "Welcome to downtown Jersey City." But if you turn around right over the trestle and you're driving back up to the south side of the city, it simply just states Bergen Lafayette. As a council person, I am here to break that stigma to make sure that we are one united city. So I'm hoping that these series of meetings with the developers will help the communities come together to make sure that Ward F and F stands for first, to make sure that we are that world-class city that we all talk about being the best mid-sized city in the state. So I'm very interested in seeing exactly what the developer has to show you guys today, but I'm more interested in seeing your comments. So if you have that comment card in front of you, please write it down, because we as the city and me as your representative here want to know all the comments that's going on. So if you see me with my head down sitting here, that's because I'm taking notes. Because I want to make sure that we get this done right and we make sure that Ward F is first in Jersey City. Thank you guys for coming out. Oh, wow, I got one clap. Can I get 2? Can I get 2? Again, thank you for coming out. I'm going to turn it over, I think, to Mike. And he's going to go through the slides right now to show you guys what's going on. And again, like I said, please write down all your comments. I don't want anything to be missed in this process right now. And I'm going to sit on the side and take some notes.
All right, thank you very much, Councilman. So, what you guys are looking at up on the screen is a map of Jersey City from 1841. And as architects, before we start any project, we do kind of a deep dive into the history of the site, the neighborhoods around it, before we put pen to paper. So one of the interesting things that we kind of first discovered about the site is how it sits relative to an old creek that used to run through the site. And that's actually kind of one of the reasons that flooding is such a problem in the neighborhood. So as I mentioned, we kind of look at all the neighborhoods sort of surrounding the site. The area we're talking about today is that area highlighted in red. That's known as the Bay Street Redevelopment District. So as you can see, right behind it is the Turnpike. You have the south side, you have Forest Park, Jersey, Bergen Lafayette, and we really, took a look at all of these neighborhoods. We've done work in all these neighborhoods. Jay, the principal of Studio B, has spoken to many of you in the past about each one of them in detail. So, and I don't need to present your neighborhoods to you, but I think it's important to kind of look at scale and context. So, in Forest Park, there's the townhouses, there's a low scale, there's kind of this rich street network. In the south side, there's also a very rich, vibrant community, similar low scale.
Nope. There he is.
A series of apartments and the County Prep High School, again, very sort of low scale development. As you move kind of around the community, Bergen Lafayette, Communipaw neighborhood, again, very rich, very vibrant community, mixed use, with these kind of amazing storefront streets like the one we see in Communipaw Avenue. Grand Jersey, Liberty Harbor North, many of you guys are probably familiar with the developments down there that have already been approved. This is the site as it exists today. This is a shot of what's approved and the developments that are happening down there, sort of as of right, those are approved now. So some additional views of that, looking at the harbor from the other side. A planned park for one of the projects.
1 second, Mike. Can everyone hear him and see what's going on, Mike?
Slow it down with the plain part.
Right.
About that.
Can you go back?
Yeah, could you just slow it down for just a second? I think what he said is, so this is Liberty Harbor North. That is what's already approved as of right. That one U-shaped building down at the bottom, I think it's 69 stories. So that is what is already approved before I became the council person. Could you back it up one more slide? Liberty Harbor North. This is so the hospital and the Jersey Avenue Bridge. You see the Science Center all the way at the lower part. So this is Liberty Harbor North as we know it right now, and what's already approved is the next slide. And could you just slow it down a little bit, Mike? Thank you.
Sure. So, as the councilman said, the developments that you see are already approved as of right. I mean, they could be built with no requirements for any additional city infrastructure, no givebacks for the community necessarily, and those are approved and moving forward.
So why is this big? Do you take the path in the morning?
69 stories of what?
Rich people.
So do you guys see where we
Is
are
it
right
mixed
now?
use? Is it
Liberty Harbor North
affordable?
to
Is it
inlet.
what?
I
So
mean,
that's Liberty Harbor North. That is what's already approved.
that new building doesn't.
Or the rendering?
No, but the new building's already right now. What I used to do, they built it without actually getting variances from the city.
Can you guys hear me good? Is it better?
They have
Okay,
to-
great.
And then if you talk right here, I'm gonna pick you up too.
Okay, great.
Okay, how's that? Better? Okay. My apologies. Okay, so again, just kind of looking at the approved developments in Grand Jersey and Liberty Harbor Park. We'll move forward to the next slide. Park that's proposed as part of that program as part of the open space, and that's something that we'll look at in terms of the Bay Street development as well. How do we kind of create sort of open space and a public feedback as part of the development? Policy Again, sort of similar scale development, 3-4 story tall, the steep gardens, kind of those amazing set of stairs that you see going up into the residence. Next one. And all the way up to the waterfront sort of captures also. So, we show all that just to kind of show the scale, the street scale, the type of communities that surround the site, and really the type of development that we're looking to, and the type of neighborhood that we're trying to create with the new development. So a little bit about the site history. Again, kind of going back to that 1841 map. There was a river that ran right by the site called Mill Creek. There was an old sort of mill that sat right along it and a mill house. And the city grid kind of today sort of respects that old creek. So as time went on, as Jersey City developed, the street grid developed, so now we're up to 1919. Moving forward to 1955, you can see the Turnpike introduction, which really was the beginning of sort of dividing some of the Jersey City neighborhoods. Really felt on one side of the park or the other, or the Turnpike or the other. Now we're up to 1980. You can see that the development on either side of the Turnpike is pretty similar to what it is today. You can see the existing shopping center, the blocks the way they looked up, the park that was created, Booker T community sort of on the other side of the park, and that's the development that we're looking at. This is the current existing sort of land use map, and what this means is what's allowable to be developed on the site. So the areas in pink are where the development is allowed to happen. That's mixed use district, which means it could be a mixture of residential and commercial use. The open space is actually the area underneath the Turnpike, and we'll talk a bit about that.
Can you go back to the first one? I think it'll be very important as we talk about connectivity to the neighborhoods. Next slide. So what's really interesting about this site is we talk about connecting the two communities, we talk about connecting pretty much Van Voorst into the Bay 3 development area, into what's right now the Booker T area. If you look back, you go back to 1919, that was actually part of one larger community. It was all part of the community together. You fast forward to 1950, the Turnpike came in. It condemned the property for the Turnpike, and it separated those two neighborhoods. And that's part of the reason why the area looks like it does today. So one of the purposes of this project is to reconnect the neighborhood through open space, really develop the neighborhood cohesively, thinking about both areas, and coming up with something that works for both areas and connects both communities. That's all I wanted to say.
Thank you, John. So moving forward, the current site conditions. So the area was blighted back in 2005, and essentially what that means is the neighborhood was identified as someplace that was not successfully being developed. The area was kind of deteriorating rapidly. So a redevelopment plan was written then to try to encourage additional development to happen there in order to allow sort of new development to happen on the site. And as you can see, sort of from that 2005 study to the current area conditioning, not much has changed. So that means that the way the existing development plan was written wasn't successful. That not a lot has happened since then, and in many cases, those sites are worse. Another look, again, it's identical from 2005 to now. So John touched on this. With the new plan, we really want to try to break down the barrier that is the Turnpike. We want, both in terms of scale, in open space, and amenities, and all of these things, to sort of reconnects sort of the disparate neighborhoods that were created by the turnpike. So this diagram, something we call figure ground, it basically highlights the footprints of all of the existing buildings. It also includes the Liberty Harbor development that's approved, and it shows how through kind of a series of green spaces that are both existing and planned, we can start to stitch together back some of these communities. And one of the kind of amazing thing about Jersey City is that it really is a transit-oriented community. The darker red line is a light rail station. You can see the pass station as well. There's a slide coming up that shows that there are a few stops that are less than 10 minutes away. Next slide, please. So this is a 3D rendering kind of showing, again, the development along the harbor. And just kind of a very preliminary idea. This is really just illustrative to show kind of conceptually how this green network can kind of start to tie some of these communities back together again. But we have a very real challenge, which is the area underneath the turnpike. And we've gone to, maybe John, you can speak to this a little bit. We've gone to the DOT, to really try to investigate what can be done there. Part of the challenge is that that's, regulated by the state, and so it's a huge challenge to try to open up some of those areas, some of the, to try to connect basically the south side back to Landhorse. So here's some examples of things that have been done in other places, like 14th Street and Hoboken, where just with some simple lighting underneath the turnpike, it turned a very dark and sort of dangerous place to traverse into something that's kind of pleasant and well lit. There's another example in Brooklyn Bridge. This is something that's kind of being done all over New York, all over the country, to kind of reclaim these spaces of underneath the turnpikes, and kind of dating back to the 70s and 80s when we carved up our cities. Some more examples of art. So an example in Los Angeles, another one in Toronto, where local artists were invited to do murals, again just trying to make these spaces underneath the turnpike a little bit more desirable to me and a little bit safer. There's a lot of examples of introducing green space under the turnpike. So Sunset Park in New York City, this is another Via Verde in Mexico City where they use plantings and a lot of green to, again, kind of make it a more friendly and sort of habitable space. And this is all in the spirit of trying to kind of bridge that gap, to kind of tear down the wall of the turnpike. So talking a little bit about the sort of open space and the recreation fund that will be generated as part of this new proposal. So under the existing current plan, the developers are not obligated to contribute any money at all to improving the existing infrastructure, the open space, or any of the things that I just talked about. So under the existing sort of as of right, which means doesn't require any additional approvals, are allowed to build as of today 870 units. There's bonuses that would get that number up closer to 900. The total amount for open space is sort of contributed.
Could you repeat that as far as the units?
Yeah, so under the existing plan, like the allowable existing plan, among those 4 sites, the developers would be allowed to build 900 units. Okay. As of right, not having to ask permission, kind of written into the existing Jersey City zoning code.
Did everyone hear that? Nope. Yeah. No. As of right, you see that top number, 870 units. As of right, the developer on all of those sites have approximately 870 units and they never have to come sit in front of the community one time. They can already just start building like the buildings that's already up there.
Thank you.
Now, you look at the next one, the proposed plan, it says 2,360 units, right? That is what the development is asking for. It's changing from 60 units per acre to, where is it? Yeah, well, it's still
60 units per acre to 180 acres.
So they're asking for triple the amount of
60 to
units.
180.
This
That's
is just
if you triple.
a conversation. This is nothing that's in front of planning right now. But I guess they're just trying to show certain numbers. But as of right, they have 870 units right now where they can start putting up their buildings tomorrow, and they never have to come to us, the city council, planning, to get any permission, as we can see with what's going on right now with Mike Lee.
And that's because of it being blighted, right? So we chose to blight it so that they don't have to have a plan.
So in 2005, the area was blighted, and it was an area marked in need of redevelopment. Right, in 2005, the city council voted for this. The planning department thought this was the right thing to do. The mayors, the city, and I guess they wanted to spark some development. So 14 years later, we're finally starting to see development, and I thought it was very important that we sit down in this room so we can hear what people are asking for and what they want to do, because the last thing I want is Mike Lee's to just start building up right now without coming to see the community.
Is the 870,
It's the entire unit is 870. He asked us the 870.
Now,
So everyone.
now if they get the variance, if the city council allows them the variance for the 2,300, how many is going to be affordable units, and how is the city going to?
We're gonna hold the questions to the end. Right. 20%.
20%.
So let me
20% of
just clarify
23.
something.
use the mic.
The current as of right plan, you're allowed 870 units total, but there is a base density of 60 units per acre, which gives you, under the base plan, allows you only 510. You get an extra 360 units to get to the 870 if you pay $5,500 for every extra unit over the base unit. So you have, under the base plan, base density, you get 510 units. You then have to pay $5,500 for every unit above that, up to 870. So then the contractor, the developer, takes that $5,500 per unit, times the 360, that equates to the $2,800,000 that goes into a trust to go into an open space plan for the area. Under the proposed plan, that same base density is there. However, we're raising the cap to the total maximum permitted. So we get our base density, but we actually have to pay for more units to get to the 2,360. So that means, under the proposed plan, we have to pay the $11 million. So it's $11 million under the proposed plan that we're paying into the fund versus $2,800,000. Where does that money go? That money, that extra money, all that $11 million will go into a fund to assist in redevelopment of parkland or other areas for the neighborhoods. So that is a brief explanation. So it's really, you're getting an extra $8.2 million into this fund that will help us improve the neighborhood.
Can you continue with the presentation?
Yeah, it doesn't look like it's stitching anything together. Stitching it apart.
Hallelujah.
Hey everybody, it's very good to be here. It's very good to be here. Sorry we got held up with some crashes on the highway. That's coming from upstate. But I'm glad to start from here.
Who are you? Can you stand next to the podium?
Sure. My name is Jay Galvara, and I'm the owner of Studio B Architecture. So I'm an architect and a planner who have been working closely with the community, with the council, and with the developer in order to make the redevelopment plan amendment to propose it for Bay Street. So these guys have been taking you through it. So one of the most important points, and these guys are starting to talk about it, is how does it actually affect the community? What actually happens here? What's going to happen here that's actually going to benefit and help people? So that's part of the reason for doing it. So you guys saw in the earlier slide how we had to address some of the issues, the fact that there was a redevelopment plan for this area, but it failed. Now, as planners and architects, I can tell you, nobody wants it to fail. And that previous redevelopment plan was decades before me, so I don't know anything about it, but I do know that nobody needs for it to fail. But the fact is, when it fails, when it doesn't work, you've got to fix it, and you've got to do it right. And there is an opportunity today in Jersey City where there's a tremendous amount of appeal, where there's a strong market, where there's strong communities, where there's strong leadership, where there is an opportunity to do it right and make it work. And that's part of what we're talking about tonight, hopefully talking about tonight, and we're going to be able to show you guys. So as we get into this in terms of the different benefits, it's very important to understand what can be done as a right and what's proposed and what's the difference, right? So today there already is an approved redevelopment plan that shows significant redevelopment there. That's already approved, that's existed for almost a couple of decades. But the problem is it's not done right, so it's not working, so there is no investment, so there are no benefits coming to the community. And how can you amend it and how can you change it so it will actually work? So you can see the current plan shows totally permitted developments today without anyone approving anything. You can build 870 units, okay? That's permitted. So actually, this whole idea is how can we actually change it as a right plan to a proposed plan where you get a significant change? So when you look at this with the cost for the bonus units, the total amount for the open space today, you could get about 2.8 million, but there's no money for a recreation center. And yet you can still build 850 units. So this is the point. So can we come up with a better plan that might change it, that might increase the density, that might do a variety of different shaped buildings and spaces, that might be more suitable for the neighborhood, create greater connectivity between the different neighborhoods, start to link the city back together again instead of divide it, start to unify it. And can we actually raise more money to do significant infrastructure improvements to solve the problems? And I'm coming through the car over there getting stuck on the way here. It's because these streets are flooding. I came right through the middle of the site. It's flooding tonight. You don't need to see a video of it. It is, actually. I'm sorry, I just drove through, so I'm not sure. Okay.
Continue, just continue.
I'm just telling you because I literally drove through the site, so I'm not sure who this gentleman is, but I'm just telling you. Okay. So then, the potential uses of recreation and open space funds. Potential improvements to the New Jersey Turnpike. So this thing, unfortunately, when people did infrastructure in the past, when they did it 50 years ago, they thought they were trying to help people, and the way they were helping people, they were building highways, but a lot of times, they cut them through the middle neighborhoods. A lot of times, they specifically cut them through the middle neighborhoods of Buffalo, unfortunately. And so as a result of that, it kind of divides and separates the neighborhoods. So I can't move that throughway. We're realists, we're planners who want to work with the community, but we can make better connections, we can do better lighting, we can remove some of the fences, we can try to work with the state authorities, because they control that more than the city. We are working with them, to try to just make that feel safer and better and have improved lighting. Second, potential spray park in Booker T. Washington. So here, we'd like to take Booker T. Washington, which is actually, not seen a lot of investment in the recent years, and we'd like to make certain improvements there. So there's been some discussions, there's some working with the local leadership, so we could create some things that would be beneficial for children, recreation kind of benefits, things like that. That's under discussion. So we're trying to get input from the community. Next, potential improvements to the Booker T. Washington basketball courts, similar to Hamilton Park. So it's really important to create recreation, create spaces for our youth, create improvements like that. That's going to be possible under the current plan. Potential improvements to Van Horst Park. It's possible to look at both sides of it. And so it's really important that we look at what could be done for the different areas, for the different public spaces in the city. And then finally, potential development of a recreation center. We've heard from the local leadership. So we're just planners. We don't make the decision, we make designs, and we try to make designs that are the most appropriate. But we feel there's an opportunity to create a significant recreation center if that's something that the local communities want. And the funds for the development like this can pay for that. And that could be a great benefit. Let's go to the next one. So these are some examples that just show pictures of recreation centers, concepts, other examples. So this is the kind of thing that we could provide to the community, and that's going to be important. So these are...
One second. I should have said this at the beginning. If you look at the bottom, right in the center of the screen, there's a page number. So if you can see that, it said this is say page 38. If you have any specific questions, please write down that page number. I should have said that at the very beginning. I do apologize. This is page 38 here.
So thank you, Councilman. So we're careful to work with the local communities. We reached out, had conversations with several of the communities and with the local leadership. So as the councilman said, there are different page numbers there in the middle. So if everyone didn't hear that, if you have a specific comment, if you want to refer back to one of these slides, it's great to go back to it. So for example, this one is slide number 38. You can see it's got the spray park, it shows improvements, basketball courts, and so on. So these are some of the real things, like we're trying to give concrete examples, because it really depends on what you want. That's part of the reason why we're doing the community meetings, so we get feedback from you all. But we'd like to propose concrete things that really mean something for the community. Next. And so these are some other examples that show park improvements, whether it's lighting, furniture, things like that, plantings. So there are different kinds of improvements that we're doing. Next. So I want to talk about the preservation of the view corridor, because this is important, because in the past there have been separations between the communities, so this is something we've looked at a lot. So look, here is an image of the turnpike, the thruway, I-78. Here you can see it, and really when this was first built, we looked at it historically, you didn't have highways going through the middle of the city. They were very much linked together. The highways have an important role, the highway's not going anywhere, but unfortunately it really creates a division. Go to the next one. So this is a perspective view that shows today what's approved. So this shows, you can see a kind of a wall of buildings, 125 feet high, that's actually kind of continuous, that goes across the whole site. So again, this is not what we're proposing. This is actually what can be built today. And for the most part, people haven't built it, because there's a lot of problems with the current plan, but they are starting to build some buildings, and you can begin to see it kind of creates a wall for separating the neighborhood that's 3 times higher than the highway, that's continuous from one end to the other. So this is what's approved under the current existing redevelopment plan. Go to the next. So what we're proposing is this. We're proposing much wider gaps. We're proposing big openings and view corridors through there, which is very important. That preserves the views of the skyline, of the city, that creates connectivity going across. We are proposing some taller buildings, but we're separating them much further apart instead of a continuous wall of buildings, 125 feet high. We're proposing instead slender individual buildings spaced further apart, and in between them doing lower 4-story buildings that are much more commensurate with the scale of the neighborhood, both in the south end and in Van Horst, and then that start to create a really active streetscape to start to link it together. And this is part of the proposal too, along with also providing parking, off-street parking, but tucked in behind lower level housing. So let's go back one more, back. So here's a wall of buildings 125 feet high forward, and here it is with open view corridors looking towards the skyline, connecting together the 2 different parts of the city, taking down, if you will, the wall, and creating something much more permeable with really active streetscapes connecting the 2 together. This is a key point that's very different than the current proposal that it's important to understand on slide 43. So this is 44. So here's the approved base height. This is kind of getting it closer. And looking more closely at like what those taller walls look like on either side when you're looking down the street corridor next. And then this is how it's proposed, where we bring down the scale on typical streets. And by the way, we looked at typical streets in the south end, you saw earlier slides. We looked at typical streets, in Van Horst also. We looked at both neighborhoods, because I'm interested in the whole city. And we saw that there were these beautiful 4-story kind of scale homes that actually define a lot of the neighborhoods. And there's also towers and taller buildings that define other neighborhoods, and we kind of blended the two, but along the streetscape, we wanted to create this lower scale. It was much more commensurate with the character of the community. Go to the next. So this is what we're drawing. Now, this is a perspective I do. This is a vision by people, they're here, Fleet did this, Michael, people you met earlier. They did these drawings, Fleet in particular drew it. But I think it's a vision for what this is be, and it's actually inspired by your city. These are 4-story buildings, 3-story buildings. They have stoops, they have gardens. We widen the street. The street today is narrow. We set it back and are giving up some of the private property to create stoop gardens and trees and plants like you see throughout the city. It could be much nicer. It's lower in scale. The parking, there's got to be parking. It's Jersey City, but it's hidden behind the buildings. So it's intrusive, so you get windows and gardens and sidewalks and trees and people playing. You know, it could be a very, very nice scale neighborhood and inspired by what we see around the city. So this is actually the literal view of what it would be like looking down the streets connecting the two. Let's go to the next. So this shows you as of right on the left, and this shows you proposed on the right, where the buildings are spread further apart and you have the lower buildings in between. Keep going. Now let's come back to any of these. Now this is a larger view that shows height comparisons and proximity to mass transit, because it's very important also that we want to provide parking, we want to provide off-street parking, but it is a trans-oriented development, and there's a lot of examples of this. So go to the next. So this shows the lower-rise development, and you can see it on the left, on the south side, and you can see it on the right in Van Horst, and how we're looking to bring those together. We have a laser pointer? I don't know if we got a laser pointer here. Is this a laser pointer?
No, it's not.
All right, well, I was going to try that. I was going to see what happens.
It's a recorder.
So, if you look carefully at the site itself, you can see, thank you, Michael's got the cursor over there. You can see these lower buildings that are going in between that are kind of connected there. You guys can see that, right? We can go back to these, we can zoom in on them, we can look at them. You know, we're here to answer questions tonight. Go to the next one. This shows you the taller buildings. Now, this is showing our site, but also the surrounding area, because there are significant taller buildings also approved throughout Jersey City. Even if you don't see them there, this shows you what's approved today, as well as what's proposed for our site. So, for example, all of Liberty Harbor North, all of the buildings down in Grand Jersey, the Crescents, I don't know if you're familiar with these, those are already approved. That's part of the future plan of Jersey City. So we're trying to find the right balance between allowing some taller buildings on the site that are going to pay for community improvements, and we're looking at lower scale buildings that open up the new corridors and create connectivity between the two neighborhoods. That's what we're proposing. So these two combine together. Next. So this is a shadow study. Somebody asked, there was a question, we wanted to answer everything in open public forums, because it's very important. What happens even with things like shadows? So it's actually a question specifically asked by Van Horst. So we did a full shadow study, and this progresses over the course of the day. So what I'm pleased to say is that it shows over a full day that the shadows in the site, because it's really so far removed, actually, from Van Horst and so far away, that I don't think you actually have significant shade at all. And these are all part of our records and so forth. Michael's running it again. So by the only time you start to get some slightly longer shadows, it's actually already evening and the sun is already gone down. So it's very important for us to look at shadow studies. These are done very accurately. We use computer software and we feed it in. They're very precise. So it's important we want to take into account and make sure that we're not shading parks, we're not shading public areas, but that we can create appropriate density and development to support community amenities. Let's go to the next. We can go back to any of these. You guys know the slides, as the councilman said, and I'm happy to go back to any of these.
What is this?
So this shows you current, and here you can see what's there today. Go to the next one, Michael. And this shows you proposed. So it's very important, again, that you look at it in the context of what's happening, what's already approved in Jersey City. Because that's the way we're looking at it. We're looking at it for the future. And you can see all of the different unit densities down here. And the entire density of all of Liberty Harbor North and all the areas along the edge there are actually significantly greater than what we're proposing. But they don't have the level of community amenities. And they don't have the level of affordable housing that we're looking at doing. So part of our whole goal has been to design an appropriate measure of density that's going to pay for infrastructure, that's going to pay for benefits to the community, that can pay for a recreation center, that can pay for improvements to recreation spaces, pay for infrastructure to stop the streets from flooding, and to elevate them, because much of Jersey City, by the way, is in a floodplain. So I don't know how much you guys know that. By the way, this is a rare opportunity, because rarely you get to elevate 4 city blocks and actually correct a significant issue, as well as correct the fact that there's serious stormwater issues in flooding. You guys are probably aware the city of Jersey City is under an extreme order from the state because of its failure to address stormwater. That's true. So we have to address this. Next. So infrastructure is the perfect intro into that. Now, you guys see this is a flood map. I was kind of amazed. So we do a lot of work in resiliency. You know, my firm right now, I'm volunteering. I'm probably the only architect in New York City writing the next 10-year plan for New York City for the waterfront to deal with resiliency and flooding. So I was appointed by the mayor there, and I feel lucky to be here in Jersey City to work with you guys. And when I first started here, I didn't understand, like, downtown Jersey City floods. Like Grove Street got 3 feet of water in Sandy, 4 feet of water. And once I started understanding, you see the blue here? Did you guys really see that? Because it's basically showing this entire neighborhood, Van Horst. You people felt it. South End, South Side, you guys felt it. Downtown feels it. Jersey City has a serious flooding problem. There's a whole bunch of things that need to be done. There's other projects I could talk to you about where we're working on another project created a 10 million gallon holding tank in Grand Jersey. It's going to take years to build it, but it's actually going to help. One of the things we can do is we can elevate sites. I mean, we have new sites, especially sites that haven't been developed. You can make significant changes. And you see Bay Street there, circled in red. Basically, the whole site is well within the floodplain and floods to several feet. It definitely flooded during Sandy. It floods at a good rainstorm. Like I saw tonight. Go to the next. This is a video. This is a video that's posted online that was shot by one of the local residents that actually shows you the problem. And you can really see here that this is very significant. And by the way, I want to emphasize that's just not like, oh, nice puddles of rainwater. I'd like to explain technically what's happening. So you're probably aware of the fact that this used to be the area where Mill Creek flowed through. And that's actually where the main sewer line for about 25%, maybe 20-25%, you know, of stormwater in Jersey City goes through that area. So what you're looking at isn't just rainwater, you're looking at raw sewage mixed with rainwater in the streets. Now, you know, I live in the city with my kids, where they go out, they play in parks, you know, they go down the public streets. You're talking about raw sewage flooding the public streets. And by the way, it's not just an architect or planner talking about it. As I said, the state has a restraining order against Jersey City to solve this problem. It's a very significant public health issue. And so, it is possible to address this. It is possible to do the correct kind of plans. And so one of our plans is to elevate the site and to control stormwater. And Jeff Reed's here tonight, who's a civil engineer, and we can speak to some of these issues. But this is an opportunity to get this right and fix it. It's expensive. We'll have to build an entire new sewer line, as well as a stormwater line. But it's possible to get this right. Go to the next.
What slide is it?
That one is 56. Okay, so now, if you look at the top, that's the Main Street part, it's kind of rotated a little bit, you see it? So, what this would require, now it would be nice if the city just could do this. It's difficult, because you have to remember when I showed that earlier map, all blue, like the whole city is flooding, so it's not like the city can take care of every area. I mean, rarely do you get a site that has been so underdeveloped for so many decades that you have 4 blocks that really have almost no new development on it. Most of it is just empty buildings or bad buildings or auto shops or empty lots. So we have a chance to fix this. In a lot of ways others can't, but it's expensive. So all the property owners, as part of this deal, are going to have to sign a special assessment agreement before they get any approvals. This is kind of a big deal. This has teeth. Second, all the roads are going to be raised to prevent flooding. Now, I've looked at this with civil engineers. I do this for a living, build roads. They're all going to be lifted up about 4 feet. And we can actually gently slope up to them, because when you're doing a whole 4-city block, I think it's not like there's a ramp or a staircase. You just gently slope up. You go up slopes like that all day long. They're less than 5%. They're fully accessible. People can just walk up and you hardly notice them. But that is enough to change everything. Next, you separate the existing contained sewer into 2 systems. I don't want to get all technical on you guys, but that's all the CSO it's contained. So in the old days, the stormwater would kind of flush out the sewage system. But the problem is it would destroy your sewage treatment plant. And so at a certain point when they get too much water, which by the way is all the time now, like you can have it maybe twice a month, they back it up, and then the stormwater comes back out, and that's how it mixes with the sewage, because it's combined, and we're going to separate them from a combined sewer system to a separate system. So what this shows, if you look at all these details, is it shows going back and relaying all the pipes. And when you relay the pipes, you can't just dig them out and put them back in. When we're elevating the street, it's the right time to do it, because then you can put the soil back on top of them. It's the perfect plan. So we can separate them. So now a new stormwater system, a new sanitary system, which is what they call a sewage system, a new water distribution system, and the infrastructure can be extended into other neighborhoods to the north. This design layout is It's been coordinated with the JCMUA, so they're a government, agency that's responsible for dealing with this. So we're not just designing in isolation. A huge amount of work has been done to coordinate with the government. This is going to cost about $15 million. So this is very significant, but it will take care of one huge chunk of one neighborhood, and it will make it better for the surrounding properties too. We can speak to that. So finally, Manhattan Building Company.
Jay, wait, can you go back one side?
Yes,
So we see the Bay Street redevelopment plan at the top. And then you see that yellow dash red line that goes all the way down. I think the reason, right, that line, that's Jersey Avenue. So to make sure that everyone knows what's going on, that would have to come down to Jersey Avenue to connect to the next line, which is a huge job, which will be some of the questions I want you guys to think about, because it's gonna come through your neighborhood. And it may take some, yes, right here in front of the school, this school, yeah. I just wanted to point that out so you guys can have that in the back of your head for questions afterwards.
Page 57.
Yes.
Page 57.
Thank you, Council. Next. So, Manhattan Building Company, so these are the guys who first reached out to us and talked to us about the project. And they're a local developer in Jersey City. You guys may know them. So this, for example, is a before picture. This is Soho West. This was 2011. So one of the big questions here is, now in Jersey City there's a process by which you have designated developers, which means the city wants to make sure that they designate developers that actually have the power, the ability, the financial ability, the experience, the muscle, the wherewithal to actually get projects done. Because sometimes properties get approved and then nothing happens. And that's not very helpful either, to actually give away density and things like that and nothing happen. So this is 2011, where this property was. Go to the next. So this is 2019. 2018. And you can see Cast Iron Lofts 2, significant building. Cast Iron Lofts 1, another huge building. Soho Lofts 1, Soho Lofts 2. Major, dramatic, significant residential development. High quality projects. By the way,
With no parking and with no street improvement.
I'm glad to answer all your questions when we come to the end.
Can you stand closer to the podium, please?
I'm doing my best. It's all right. I'm just trying to. So, do the before again. So before 2011, after 2018. So I work with a lot of developers. I have a kind of a jaundiced eye. I work with many people. This is kind of impressive in 7 years to pull off 4 buildings. I'm just telling you, these are my impressions. So, and these deal with many of the exact same issues, because I've been there, I've looked through these buildings, I checked it out. Excellent landscapes, incorporating artwork, very nice architecture. I had nothing to do with them. But I think that, and many of the same resiliency issues, they had to elevate the buildings and address them too, because that problem is endemic throughout Jersey City. So this is pretty interesting to do this amount of neighborhood development within a 7-year period. When I showed you previously the 8th Street site had almost no development over nearly 2 decades, and this was done in 7 years. Next, a vision for the neighborhood. So finally, we get to talk a little bit about what we want to do. So here's the current view today, looking down one of the streets, and you can see, the kind of quality of the architecture of the buildings, empty lots, razor wire fences, fenced off, buildings with, blind windows. Next. And this is the view where we're proposing this, where I showed you earlier. This would be for that same street, and that would look like this: wider gardens, townhouse type arrangements, providing parking, which is tucked in behind and super efficient, which is very important too. I can't speak to other developments, but I can tell you that we're doing the right combination of housing and parking, because I deal with that. Let's go to the next one. Close-ups, really showing where we can do a lot of detail. And this is interesting to me when I work with a client, and I get a sense from them right away, do they want to do better architecture? Do they want to show this detail? I can tell you how many community meetings I've been to where the developer might say, don't show that, it's too nice, it might be too expensive. My client's saying, show beautiful things. We want to do excellent architecture. We want to do high-quality buildings. I like it. Let's go to the next. This is a view further back. So this shows you today. We're looking actually, of course, towards the east, right? Go to the next. And this shows on the right what's already approved. And that's coming, and that's part of the development of Jersey City that's been underway for many years. And on the left, you can see our proposed project. Michael, do we have a close-up of it? So this is a close-up, and you can start to see the buildings, how they're separated, how you get views through them, how it starts to break down that wall, how they have lower bases that are more articulate, lower in scale as the plinths that incorporate the parking. The towers are taller and much more slender and stratified to create views between them. This is what we're proposing. Go to the next. This is a view from the front, and you can start to see the individual towers, and you can start to see how they'll look and what the feeling and the character might be, and how we're mitigating the scale between the four-story plinths, the townhouses, the parking garages, which are tucked into them, and the taller, slender towers between them. Next, this is a view of it at night. So we're kind of showing what the overall feeling might be, the character might be, how the building massing could be developed. So this is important. Next. And then finally, I want to go into the value-added incentives, and specifically those that are planned for Ward F. Go ahead. So we're looking at improvements to recreation and education, including a $2.5 million charitable contribution to build a first-class recreation center. So this is a significant thing that would greatly benefit children in the neighborhood. We're looking at creating a recreation fund to improve recreational facilities in the immediate area. Again, now your local elected officials would have to work with you in order to determine how to use these funds and things like that, but that's what we're proposing. So we don't do everything on our own. We have to work with local stakeholders, communities, elected officials, but this is what we're putting forward. We want to coordinate with the municipal government and NJDOT to utilize the space under the turnpike. We're being a little careful there. We totally want to do that, but it's a state agency, and it's a pain dealing with state agencies like do it. We're already talking with them. We put in roads, we like to make actions, better lighting, better security, make that feel safer, because today it doesn't feel safe. It doesn't feel that nice, especially at night. Go to the next. Additional opportunities for affordable housing. So this is part of your city council and your mayor have, changed things where they want to create affordable housing. So we want to eliminate long-standing blight by replacing these dilapidated industrial buildings with first-class mixed-use development, and this is going to include affordable housing. Now, the existing redevelopment plan, even with that 125 walls, doesn't allow any affordable housing. And we're finding we're doing it in New York City. We're oftentimes mixing wonderful market-rate housing with affordable housing, and it's a great model, and it's working well. It's changing communities, and it's benefiting a lot of people. So that's what we're proposing here, which definitely is part of the policy of your mayor, your administration, and the councilman. And we're providing for that and building that into the plan where it didn't exist before. Next. We want to ensure a more thorough and fair vetting process, just to ensure affordable housing applicants, throughout the Jersey City. So there's a kind of whole vetting process that's going to be part of it too. Go to the next one. Connectivity, we talked about a lot. We talked about the wall. We talked about kind of breaking it down and opening it up. So the current plan, as it exists today, prevents connectivity. We want to unify the neighborhoods and connect them back together, which is a difficult challenge. We want to create something that actually provides more improvements than it does. So we create connectivity between the neighborhoods. We want to preserve the view corridors so that you can actually see between the different communities. As I drove in tonight, I can even see that. And we want to make sure that we prevent a dividing wall between Ward F and the waterfront, and between Van Horst. Go to the next. So infrastructure improvements, we talked about this. We want to contribute, the developer would contribute $15 million to rebuild the failing sewer infrastructure and to elevate the streets. We would include the kind of street level brownstone residential housing that's inspired by the architecture of Jersey City. And we want it to be eco-friendly. We want to support the city's Vision Zero pedestrian safety program. So we think we can actually do safer, better streets, better connections, better crosswalks, better connectivity. And I'm sure we can do those things. Next, parking improvements. People always have questions about parking. And parking is tough. Because parking is like, being rich or being thin. There's no such thing as too much. And yet at the same point, you've got to figure out how you can provide appropriate parking, how you can make it work, and how you can make it affordable. So we're providing significant off-street parking. We're maintaining street parking and actually making the streets even wider. And we're wrapping the parking with active retail. So we're doing the parking in the middle of the blocks. We're doing it super efficiently. We're wrapping it with townhouses so you don't actually see parking garages in most locations. It's really covered with housing. So it's all active edges and retail, especially along Main Street. And then we do super efficient garages in there that move hundreds and hundreds of cars. Next. Minority contractor and labor participation. The project is committed to providing job opportunities for local minority contractors. It's committed to providing job opportunities for local skilled laborers and apprenticeship programs. So this is a big thing in economic development and bringing people from the community in and providing jobs and providing training. The project's committed to providing job opportunities to minorities, especially for long-term post-construction jobs too. Property management, maintenance, landscape people, doormen, cleaning services. So not only significant jobs during construction, which will last 3 years, but also for the ongoing maintenance of the project, and committed to providing an independent compliance entity in order to make sure to work with the Jersey City Office of Diversity to demonstrate that this can be done properly. So this is important too, that the project really provide equity and provide a balance that can actually help the local community. Now we're almost done. We are done. I'd like to answer your questions. If you guys have a couple, I'll head back to the
I would like, at this time, I would like for anyone who have any questions that was written down on the cue cards to please slide towards the Senate aisle, so we'll come and collect them. I would like to ask the president of Melrose Park, Mr. Benjamin, if we want you to come up, and actually from every community, Liberty, we have Dwayne Baskerville, and also Ms. Natalia from Bay Street. We'd like for you guys to come up to tell us some things that you need from this project.
Before we get started, my name is Sheena Johnson, I'm the 18th Councilman Robinson. I understand that this is a serious issue for everybody who lives in this neighborhood. I understand that everybody has done a lot of research, but nobody's issue is more important than the next. So I ask that you respect each and every speaker that is here, allow them to speak, allow NBC to answer their questions. Please do not talk over people and interject. Let's all be respectful, because we all have to live here at the end of the day, and we want our questions answered, and we want our concerns addressed and our needs met. So can we all agree to be respectful of every speaker? Yes. Thank you very much.
Benjamin?
Well, good evening, everybody. My name is Benjamin Melby, call me Ben. I am the current president of the Melrose Park Neighborhood Association. Just to let you know, I wasn't informed that I should speak to the public today, so I'm actually winging it. However, I will tell you that we had our most recent meeting, which was on May 21st, and we weren't aware that tonight we were going to have this community gathering. So one of the things I definitely want to make sure in the future, if we can make sure that in order to have better attendance and make sure that people are prepared, that we disseminate the information either through the local block associations, like we have Center Street is here, Center Street Block Association is here, and I know that we weren't informed to be able to speak to the public. So it would be best in the future to have better notifications so that when we can go ahead and prepare questions, prepare information that we can share with the community. I will say that we have spoken to Councilman Robinson in regards to this project. It is definitely a need to develop the area. Our number one priority, our number one concern is the residents in that area. So we have several questions that were emailed, and we just want to make sure that we can continue that dialogue to find out where they stand to make sure that they're well taken care of. That's the tenants and owners of properties inside the Bay Street. So that was our number one concern. Everything else is secondary to us. Obviously, the area needs to, it is blighted to a point, but there are people that own properties. So we want to make sure that they're fairly treated. So that way, if they decide that they want to develop, they can participate, and if they want to sell, they can get a proper price for the property. As you can tell from the development, there is going to be areas that are going to be directly affected, residents on Wright Street. So we have to make sure that we do get your input and make sure that you come to the meetings, which are the third Tuesday of every month. We also have our email address, which is vvpanews@gmail.com, excuse me, vvpanews@gmail.com, excuse me, I apologize. So if you have information or questions that you want to ask, feel free to email us. We are there to represent the Melrose Park neighborhood, but we want to work together with all the other neighborhoods that possibly could be affected. Again, if there's any questions, I'll be more than happy to take any questions in regards to this project specifically. All right. So again, we have been in communication. We are representing Van Horst Park neighborhood. We do hope that people will attend the meetings, and we do hope, since we just found out that there's going to be multiple meetings in regards to this project, we hope that we'll be able to share that information so that way people will be able to make it and be prepared to ask questions. And hopefully we'll also continue the dialogue that we've already established in regards to that.
Ms. Natalia from Bay Street.
Thank you so much. It's actually Center Street, but you know, the project is Bay Street, so that's perfectly fine. First of all, thank you so much for having this meeting, truly. I think that we spent approximately a year trying to arrive to this very place. The first time that we met representatives of Manhattan Building Company was, I would say, last summer. And this was our dream, to have a community meeting. That's how we think it should be done, so that everyone can get the full picture and an ability to comment. And our concern, I represent approximately 12 families who I either own or rent along Center Street area. And our concerns are very simple, up until very recently. In fact, according to the current redevelopment plan, I know that's not really the issue, however, that's still in what's written down right now. There is eminent domain clause in place, and that's something that we hope that will be eliminated in the future as things are reworked. And reworked, we want to make sure that none of the residents are forced out of their homes. And that takes me into the next issue, which was discussed today, which is fine, the whole flooding thing. I just want to make a few corrections. The video that you guys were showing with the flood, that's our video, it's my house, and it's about a year and a half old because certain things have changed since then. Those of you who live in that area, you may remember that MUA took out a contract with a company called Shower, and they replaced the sewage lines along Bright Street, along Center Street, and various other places in the city, and since then, we have not had remotely same level of flooding. And when you were speaking about driving through the flood, I took a screenshot of my CCTV cameras just to point, to show that at that same time there was absolutely no flooding on Center Street. So great changes have been made, and it actually, you might want to ask the MUA too what you need to pay the $15 million for. Because clearly something's been done. Maybe it's not going to be as much, and also the way it will impact those residents who live there and who wish to develop. We have several families who live there, and several developers who live and own in that area, who have tenants who wish to develop, but the current, the current conditions are that if you wish to develop, if you wish to become a designated developer on your own home, you have to invest into the sewage. Well, things have changed with the sewage. We have to be very clear with what the city has done and with what the actual expenses are, and perhaps things are not as bad as they are. And even when it comes to that, I also wanted to ask about elevating the street. Now, I read one of the top lines on your page there that all property owners in that area would have to sign some kind of an agreement before any significant elevations would be made. And even though we have discussed with the city that no eminent domain will be pressed upon residents, if you're going to be elevating streets, to me, that translates inevitably into some kind of relocation or significant change to families who live there. So how would that, I'd like to know how that will work with each other. And is it possible then, as an alternative, you mentioned the sewage pump, to just put in a new sewage pump, as has been done in several places in Paulus Hook, without having to elevate an entire neighborhood and thus possibly affecting the quality of life of people who currently live there. And just my final question. You may know, actually concurrently with this meeting, there is a school funding hearing going on. A big issue in our city is abatements. Abatements and how that translates into what money our schools get. You're not going to think. So that was my other question, because it's important. We have the schools in the area, and our schools are suffering. We have hundreds of people that are threatening to get laid off because of these situations. So thank you very much again for having this, and I'm just going to leave you with, I hope this is the first meeting in a series of, if not many, then several. And that we can continue this dialogue. Thank you.
Now we're going to have Dwayne Basketball, he's the organizer for Ruby T. Thank you.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. My name is Dwayne Basketball, and I'm representing Booker T, and I'm representing the rest of Ward F, Ward A, and every other community here in Jersey City who has been disrespected by the recent development that we've had in the city. I come today to invite everyone in Van Rose Park, all our new neighbors to Jersey City, and request that we all work as one. I'd like to thank Jermaine Robinson for making it possible that the developers had to come and sit down with us. Because basically what's been going on is they've just been coming in, doing their work, and no one in Jersey City has had a part of that work. We are looking for 30% of the contracts for all of the development that come across the waterfront line. We're looking for 30% of skilled labor. We're looking for 30% low income. And when I say, when you mention minority home, this is not just about minority home. This is about everybody in Jersey City who's been here all these years. And if we don't come together today and put our minds together and our disagreements to the side, we will be having this conversation in another city, in another state. So I want to thank everybody for coming. I want to thank Jermaine. I want to thank John. Because you're not on the league. You are the league.
No neighbors and cast that on us. No neighbors.
I just became aware of that, which makes me a little bit more impressed with the fact that you gentlemen would like to work with us. Because when there's an abatement, there's a line drawn in the sand. He's not drawing any lines that I can see so far. If he draws a line, I will let you know. But so far, he has been willing to sit down and at least hear what we have to say. And we wanted to include everyone in this conversation. So I implore everyone, write down what you want on this particular project. There is nothing we can ask for that I don't think they can afford. We just need to know what it is we want. We need to come together and we need to support the project if it's going to include everyone else here in Jersey City. If not, we will shut them down just like everybody else. Fair enough? Fair enough. So I thank you, and please, let's get together after this meeting somewhere, somehow, and come up with something that makes sense for everybody. Thank you.
Okay, we're going to now open it up for a Q&A. I'm going to have Sheena Johnson, the councilman's aide, to come up. She's going to read some questions that's going to be directed to our panelists.
Okay, so we'll just jump right into some of these. The first question, when will flood remediation be done, before building or after?
Can you repeat that question?
When will flood remediation be done, before building or after?
The flood mitigation will be done in phases as the buildings get built. As one road gets built at a time, that particular road would have new infrastructure installed. To start the development, we would have to install the separated storm and sanitary system that would be carried all the way down to Jersey Avenue and connected to the infrastructure behind the hospital. The infrastructure plan calls for separating the combined sewer into two different sewer systems. That would be in the first phase of the project. Yeah, well, we are currently working with, John just reminded me of something. The plan you saw up on the screen shows the infrastructure going down Date Street. That is what we worked out at the end of last year. Since then, I've had many meetings with JCMUA and their consultants. As you just heard, one of the other speakers, JCMUA has repaired some of the pipes on Center Street. What they actually did is clean a lot of them out. I'm not sure they actually replaced any of them yet. There was a lot of them that were clogged. They are looking at replacing the main trunk stores on Grand Street. When they do that, they would also be adding pipes to help with the Bates Avenue redevelopment plan. So whether or not we go down Wright Street or go down Grand Street, we're still negotiating and working that out with JCMUA. But there will be new systems in place prior to this development.
Thank you. Thank you.
Can we bring up slide 75? And the question is about the parking ratios. What is the present parking requirement? What is the proposed parking that's being offered? And what is going to be the cost per space for the renters or owners in these buildings?
So the current plan allows or requires a minimum of 1 space. The proposed plan will require a minimum of 0.5 spaces per unit and a maximum of 1 space. This is the same ratio that we have in the area where we constructed Soho West, we're constructing Emerson Lofts, we're constructing Cast Iron 1, Cast Iron 2. That is a minimum of 0.5 there. And we actually have a little greater than 0.5, and it works with our residents, and as well as it works with the people who work there. I work in that building, and there's always available parking in Cast Iron 2 parking garage. So we're following basically the same as we've done in the past. A lot of people, young people, don't have cars. In fact, when Bob Cotter was the planner in Jersey City, he always mentioned that when you provide more parking, more people are going to have cars. And so what we're trying to do is follow that logic and not provide all this parking and provide less, and people will have less. We're close to mass transit. We'll have a shuttle bus from our project that'll take the residents to and from the gas stations, so there's less of a need for people to have cars. There will also be street parking. Street parking will be the zone parking worked out with the City of Jersey City. We'll have a separate zone than other neighborhoods, so we cannot park, residents of this redevelopment area cannot park in other zones more than 4 hours as they currently are allowed.
What are the numbers?
The numbers.
It's 0.5.
Oh, I'm sorry. So it's it's minimum of 0.5 parking spaces. So we have 2,000 cars, 2,000 apartments, we'll have 1,000 parking spaces. Now, that is a code or zoning requirement. That's not marketing. If we see that in the past, if it's a marketing requirement, we can raise that, but the maximum of 1. And we don't want to provide too little parking for our residents. So it comes down to a zoning as well as a marketing reason to get the parking that's required.
The other portion of that, was there a fee?
Oh, yes, there was another component. They asked whether there were going to be fees for the parking for the residents of those buildings, and if so, how much would it be?
There are fees for the residents to park there, and I'm not sure about $200 a month plus or minus for residents to park there.
How much?
And that's a reasonable rate in today's market for parking garages, indoor parking garages.
How much is that?
Approximately $190 to $200 a parking space plus or minus
Per month.
Does that fee also include for?
I cannot answer that question.
We haven't gotten that. That's something we can discuss.
Yes.
Something I do want to add, I'm not sure if, John, you're aware of this. Councilman Solomon, who represents Ward E, has been working on a parking plan, and he has met and spoken with Councilman Robinson as well about the parking plan. And one of the things that he wants to implement is for buildings that provide parking in their building, their residents will not be able to apply for resident parking passes to park on the street. So they won't be able to circumvent paying the fee to park in their building by applying with the city for a parking space on the street. So that's something that we would not have to worry about going forward. So the next question.
Until the lot is full.
Until the lot is full. The next question is regarding schools. And the question is, how many children have you estimated would be in a complex of more than 2,000 units? Where would these children go to school? Is there a plan to build another school?
I would say it's a little difficult to estimate the amount of kids that are gonna be there, but what I can say is, as we talked before, we're not doing any abatements. So what these buildings are gonna do is gonna create a lot of tax dollars to not hurt the schools, but actually increase funding and add funding to the schools to make schools better. So is there a specific plan for where that money will be allocated to at this point? No, that's something that we can discuss as this plan moves forward, but I know it will create a lot of tax dollars, and a portion of those tax dollars will be allocated towards the school budget.
It's okay? Yes. My question is less around dollars rather than just pure numbers, because that has a different consequence. Because what we're seeing in these neighborhoods is, I can tell you when I moved back here 10 years ago, in Van Voorst Park on a Sunday morning, there were probably 50 kids. Now there are 250. So, the question is, what is the rule of thumb on kids? If you were at Van Voorst 10 years ago, you saw 50 kids Sunday morning, now you see 250. So is there some type of rule of thumb? It's not necessarily just a dollars question.
I don't have the exact numbers over me. What I can do is I can do a comparison of what we're seeing in the Soho West neighborhood, and there's actually very few children in the building. It's actually, the demographic is more, I would say, kids age from 28 to 35, and then once they're starting to have kids, they get out of the rental market and go buy something, or they go move out to the suburbs. So I can understand your concern, but from what I've seen personally in the Soho West neighborhood, it's not that many kids.
So I just want to ask one question to follow up. What's the breakdown of Soho Loft? I know you can't say what this new development will be between studios 1s, 2s, and 3s. I guess that can kind of help us with kids, right? They all want bedrooms.
In the Soho West, they're fairly equal in terms of 1, 2s. We do large apartments in the Soho West community. These may be a little bit smaller, but we do have studios, maybe about 20%, one bedrooms maybe about 33, and 2 bedrooms around 33, and then the rest are 4 bedrooms, 3 and 4 bedrooms. So the large, we do have large bedrooms, but they are smaller. And most of our 2 bedrooms, 3 bedrooms, and 4 bedrooms are shared with younger people so they can split the rent amongst themselves. Yeah, and as John indicated, we are not asking for tax abatements. Cast Iron Loft 1 had a 5-year tax abatement, and that was to get the project off the ground. It was the first project in the area. Cast Iron Loft 2 did not, Soho West did not, and Emerson will not. And when you do get a tax abatement, that money goes directly to Jersey City. It does not go to the public school system. So here we'll be paying our fair share of taxes, so the Board of Ed will be getting their money and it will not be deducted from them.
Thank you.
So I'd like to acknowledge our Council President, Rolando Navarro, who is here. Thank you for coming out. Everybody was given a sheet. If you don't have it, please raise your hand. We have more on the table. Someone can get you one. It has references about affordable housing that explains what affordable housing is, what income limits are, what AMI is. Does everybody have that sheet? I'm asking because this question pertains to information that is on that sheet. And this question is from our Council President, who is a big advocate for affordable housing and inclusionary zoning. The question is, what is the AMI distribution for the affordable units that are going to be included in this project?
Okay, so as you guys know, there's multiple property owners in the area, so I don't want to speak on anyone else's behalf, but I'll let you know what we're proposing for our first phase. In our first phase, it's in accordance with the inclusionary zoning ordinance that's been recommended by planning. We know there is some back and forth now, so it's not affected, but in accordance with that ordinance, it's 5% low-income housing, 5% moderate-income housing, and then 10% workforce housing.
Can you make that screen just a little bigger on your computer? Is it possible? It's hard to read it. There, yeah, a little bit, even more.
So from what we're proposing for the phase one, that would bring 29 low-income units, 29 moderate-income units, and 57 workforce housing units, which is 115 affordable housing units, and that's just on phase one. Throughout the entire project, we have the ability to bring up to 472 affordable housing units. That's 118 low-income housing units, 118 moderate-income housing units, as well as 236 workforce housing units.
Yeah, how long do they remain affordable? The length of the project? I mean, how long does it stay affordable?
The follow-up question is how long do they stay affordable in that for lifetime?
There's unrestricted.
She's actually need restrictions.
It'll be restricted. I know there's certain HUD regulations. I don't want to speak out of line with the exact amount of time, but I want to say it's at least a 30 to 40 year deed restriction. But don't quote me on that. I can get you the information after this meeting.
Another follow-up to that question, will the units for the affordable housing be the same as the other units in our market rate?
The answer to that is yes, and this is something that, as a company, we truly believe in. My boss, Sandy Weiss, who's the one who's really the mastermind behind the Soho Lofts neighborhood, what he says he wants to do is he really wants to crack the code. What he means by cracking the code is he wants to be able to create mixed income communities, which is luxury apartments at affordable prices. So that's what we're looking to do in this neighborhood, and the units will be the exact same. The affordable units aren't going to be smaller than the market rate units. Everyone's going to have access to the same amenities, and hopefully we want is everybody to have the same opportunities, because that's really what it's all about, and that's really how you can move Ward F forward and really create connectivity between Ward E and Ward F to spur development west of 78.
Next question, what transit funding are you proposing for an extra 1,400 units? Transit is already at capacity.
I'm not sure what statistics they're pulling up to say transit's at capacity, but what I can say is in terms of formal givebacks, what we said was 20% on-site affordable. It would be a $15 million in infrastructure, and under this proposed plan, we get another $11 million in open space and recreation center contributions. Transit-wise, there's no commitment to do anything with transit besides we will provide luxury shuttle buses for the residents of the neighborhood to be transported to the path and light rails.
Will site elevation push floodwaters deeper into surrounding communities?
Can you repeat that?
Will site elevation plans push the floodwaters deeper into the surrounding communities? So I'm guessing what this person is asking is remedying the problem in this area going to adversely affect another area and cause flooding elsewhere? Page 56.
That's a very good question. The neighborhood currently stores water. It stores water because of elevation. It takes water from itself when the water falls within its own, within this neighborhood. And when your pipes are surcharging, it doesn't discharge. And because of elevation, it also takes waters from adjacent neighborhoods. That's why the water, as you can see in the picture, is stagnant. It's just sitting there, waiting for the existing combined sewer to discharge. So it's all about elevation in Jersey City. What you're looking at on that screen, the elevation of that road is around elevation 4.5 to 5. It's very low. You need to be up around elevation 7 to 7.5, not to have stagnant water. When you have a storm coming in through the Hudson and all of your combined outfalls are surcharging, that's because the river itself is up to elevation 5. So when you have a high tide and you have a low pressure storm come through Hudson County, that's why a lot of areas of Hoboken and Jersey City flood. It's all elevation. You can have a 200-inch diameter pipe and it's not going to move the water if the elevation is not pushing the water out. So what we're proposing is a multi-faceted solution to this. Is all 2 raise the roads up to elevations in around elevations 8 to 10, depending upon the road and the slopes, but also to put in new pipes and new infrastructure. So if you take care of the water in your own neighborhood and you separate the storm systems from sanitary and storm, the proposed storm system will discharge more quickly in the new storm system. When you take the water out of your own neighborhood and discharge it, that's freeing up space in the existing combined sewer that you're not touching. So by doing nothing to the properties around the Bates Avenue redevelopment area, you're freeing up storage, if you will, in the existing pipes. Because today you have one pipe. You have one combined sewer that's filled up, surcharging, and it's backing up on all the roads. So when the infrastructure plan that we were talking about will have 2 different pipes, separate sanitary, separate storm. You discharge the storm directly out to Mill Creek. You take the sanitary storm and you discharge it directly to the interceptor, which goes to your sewage plant and gets treated. And none of that water goes to Hudson River. Then your combined sewer, you're taking out all of that runoff that's currently going into the combined sewer in Bates Avenue. You're freeing up that space. So the water that's falling on this redevelopment area will not flow to any adjacent properties. In fact, we will free up space for the adjacent properties to flow more readily.
Do you have a study showing that? Do you have a map that shows that?
That's the map that shows it. There's a larger scale of that. I'm currently working with JCMUA. Their own consultants, JCMUA has hired private consultants that are reviewing my concept, and together we're working on a master plan. That's why I said earlier, there is a plan to improve the sewer system on Grand Street. So whether or not the new pipes go down Grand or go down Bright Street, they're going to go down one of those roadways because that's what's needed to alleviate the water pressure that's built up in the city. Thank you.
So it is now 10:08, and we asked for someone to 8 o'clock, so I'm going to do 2 more questions, but do not fret. Any questions that were not answered, I will make sure to submit them to the Manhattan Building Company, and we will get your answers back either at a later meeting or through an email. This next question begins, how many office businesses downtown too in this area? It isn't easy using the path to get jobs in New York City. Some people want to live and work in Jersey City. What is the plan for economic development within this footprint?
I think that's, first of all, I was told to be quick to get us out of here, but I think that's a great question. I think we have a twofold answer. The first fold is that there's permitted retail throughout the entire area on the ground floor, which will create jobs. Also, how we're proposing the plan is that there can be above ground office, meaning second, third, fourth, up to the highest floor of office, which could be, instead of using as residential use on that floor, you can use it as commercial use, which I think will alleviate the concern of whoever wrote this question.
The last question, has Manhattan Building Company already acquired all of the land? And if not, how can we ensure that this is from Hawaii.
Manhattan Building Company is not the only owner of property within this area. What Manhattan Building Company has acquired is the property for the first phase of the project. The other large property owners, many of them are here or have left. They're all in support of the plan. What we have put in place is that those developers we designate as a sub-redeveloper for their property. We give a certain time frame to develop their property in accordance with the amended plan. If they default or they fail to do so within those time frames, the Manhattan Building Company will have an option to purchase those properties and develop them. And based off our reputation and experience, the city seems comfortable with that plan going forward.
So we do have a time frame to be out here at 8:30. It is 8:17 right now. We do not want to miss out on any of the questions or comments. There are cards at the back table over here if you want to stay in contact. If you need any questions answered, please feel free to fill this card out. So this way we can stay in touch with you, and this way I can be ahead of schedule with booking the next meeting. Like I said, I really want to make sure that the next time we have one of these meetings, the room is packed. President, I understand. I got a lot of emails and text messages today saying, you know, I was working on holiday weekend and everyone was out of town. I think I should have been out of town too, instead of putting flyers on cars. But I do understand if you guys have not filled this out yet, please fill this out so that when we have the next meeting or when we have any updates that's coming from the Manhattan Building Company, or if we have any updates coming from any of the other developers, we can get that to you as quickly and in a timely manner. Thank you all for coming out. I want to thank MS number 4 for housing us tonight, for giving us their space. Again, we do have a time frame to be out here. I don't want to rush anyone, but I want to make sure that we get all of the questions answered. And I want to stay in touch with everyone because this is a preliminary meeting. These are conversations, and I said once before that the planning department is going to make any developer that is asking for more height or more density to come back and sit in front of you. And I want to make sure I get that out to everyone who's here, and I want to be able to, invite the rest of the community out. Thank you for coming. I appreciate it. I think we all get real more than preserved the best that it can be, and all the neighborhoods surrounding here. Thank you for all coming out. Get home safe. Have a great night.
No, and then
where the little machine came along and fixed the bill or something. As we're talking, that's it right there, batteries not included. And that's what we want to fix the battery. I apologize for whatever but we would love to be able to sit down with everybody, get everybody on the same page. And like I said, it's not just about minority. Just we got to get that right now. We are all it's got to make sense. When it's fixed, you want $50 million fast. I'm going to write you a check.